I think a lot of the talks today have been looking at things that could be happening in the very near future. I'm going to be looking at market-led innovations in retail services that are happening right now in other jurisdictions. So I'm going to be talking about a few different examples I've picked of smart devices and smart prices. For those of you who were in the previous session in this room, for the second time today, you're going to have to listen to someone with a funny accent telling you about prepay. I apologize. And I will highlight that we did hear about a lot of innovations also happening in Australia. So smart devices, most people probably know smart thermostats. The great example is a Nest. If you don't know it, it's a device that's designed by the guy who designed the iPod. It's very fancy looking. People like it. It looks great. It has Wi-Fi connectivity, and it has a learning module. So it actually takes note of your behavior, and it modifies how it sets the temperature accordingly. Nest claims that this saves people, I think, 11 to 12% on heating load and 15% on cooling load. So it's significant savings, conservation, bill savings, without customers having to do anything apart from installing the device. If we look at home energy controllers, there's a great example. Home energy controllers allow you to control your temperature, but also other devices that can be connected to it. They'll also give you information about how much electricity you're consuming, so it's like an in-home display with more functionality. In the Netherlands, Dutch retailer, who was it? Eneco has a device called the Toon. It's tremendously popular. They've leased it to over 350,000 customers as of 2017, so people are paying to have this device because they find it valuable. And Eneco claims that the Toon allows people to save about 10% on their annual bills. So big conservation savings there. Smart meter enabled prepayment. We heard a lot about this in the previous session. So smart meters mean that you don't have to have a device. You don't have to have a special meter. You can just interact with your meter through your phone, or you could even go to the corner store and get a coupon if that's what you wanted, like the old days of prepaid phone service. But you don't have to have a special meter. It's cheap to do. It's proved to be very popular in other markets. We've seen in markets that have measured conservation from prepayment that people are saving on the range of 5 to 15% of their energy bills. Or I should say kilowatt hours. I don't know what the price they pay is. The final thing I want to talk about is conservation voltage reduction. So this is a little bit different. But here you're using smart meters. The fact that you have smart meters in every customer's house going down your distribution feeder to actively control voltage. So instead of sort of setting it high at the beginning, estimating how many people there are going down the line and how much voltage loss you're going to have, you actually look as it goes down the line at what the voltage is, and you can dynamically set it different ranges. In an experiment that we looked at in Maryland, they had conservation savings for consumers of 1.4%. So consumers were saving 1.4% of their energy without knowing that anything was happening. No one noticed it, no one knew anything about it, and you had that great bill saving. So these are the smart devices programs that I'm looking at. Smart prices. There's a lot of different types of smart prices out there. They're not all little dots in the graph, but you have things like time of use. You have dynamic programs where prices change as to reflect system conditions, like critical peak prices, peak time rebates. We've taken the results of these from over 300 different pilots and full-scale rollouts around the world. So I think 9 countries across 4 continents, and we've looked at the impact. And we see that people do respond to these prices. So if you were to look at the first line on the outside there, if you had a peak to off-peak price ratio of 6 to 1, so your peak time price was 6 times higher than your off-peak price, people on average reduce their electricity consumption in the peak period by about 12%. If you add in enabling technology, so like the smart devices we talked about or in-home displays or something, people reduce their peak time usage by about 20%. Some of that could be conservation, some of it could be load shifting. So we see pretty consistent results coming about from smart prices. So we've looked at smart prices, we've looked at smart devices. We're seeing a lot of conservation, we're seeing peak management, And you might wonder, how much do these innovative policies cost? How much does it cost to get smart? So as part of the Power Shift program that the ECA is running, we started looking at different retail services that are being offered in different markets. So we looked at the 10 largest retailers in the UK and Texas, which are very similar to Australia as a starting point. And what we found as a trend is that you can get a lot for free. So if you look at free conservation, a lot of companies, retailers, are giving away free smart thermostats. So some of them are giving away Nest thermostats. One company was giving away an Alexa, Amazon Alexa device coupled with a thermostat, all for free. You have smart meter enabled prepayment. So we just heard that, Aurora, thank you. We just heard that Aurora is offering prepayment. And this is happening with a number of other retailers in Texas and the UK. Peak load management. People keep saying that prices are too complicated to convey to consumers. I vehemently disagree. You see in Texas, free nights, free weekends programs are tremendously popular. That's a time of use program. That's a very easy concept, and consumers like free. You get free demand response. One of the companies in Texas that gives away a Nest thermostat also gives customers $5 a month if they sign up for their demand response program. They use the Nest to do a temperature offset. If you notice that it's changed and you change it back, there's no penalty. Otherwise, they just rely on the fact that you don't notice it. So it's free money. So you've got a lot of innovation coming out of here. That is giving you all these conservation and demand management benefits. Unfortunately, 1 minute. So I think the competitive market and getting people to compete in the right way by offering innovative services to retailers is extremely important. We can offer a lot more value there. We've just got to focus, we've got to align profitability and customer needs better than we've done in the past. But there are some things that do not work in deregulated markets or challenging, such as conservation voltage reduction. So something like that, the retailers do not get any competitive advantage. If you offer it, it benefits all retailers, so why would they pressure distributors to do it? The distribution networks are not getting paid to do it. They don't get any benefit. And in fact, if someone else owns the smart meter data, it might be costly for them to enact. So they might have to pay a lot of money for it. So I think innovative policies are needed alongside competition to ensure that customer value is maximized. That's the end for me. So I'm going to wrap up and we can go to questions. Thank you.